let's get into some Michigan football live Q&A. Fire up the comment section. If you want to get the producer attention, use hashtag Michigan in your comment. Want to take some questions to get started. I got one coming in from Instagram from Willy Wonka 36. Obviously his given birth name, I'm sure. Is Darion Green-Warren a lock? If you're not familiar with him, cornerback out of California, visited Michigan recently, and as of we went live 29 minutes and 12 seconds ago, he is slated to announce in early January at one of the All-Star games. A lot of the recruiting analysts, the guys who call 17-year-old boys up for a living and ask them what they're doing this weekend, they're all putting him to Michigan over the last few days. So I'm just going to take the word for it. I have no real inside info on this. The tea leaves are trending that way, and that's what it seems like. So you might have a big-time addition to this class, a top 250-ish player with Darion Green-Warren, but won't count against this early signing period and where Michigan finishes. But when the final rankings come out in February, could him and maybe another player, who knows, jump Michigan in the top 10? It is possible. But use hashtag Michigan to get your questions up. If you guys want your questions on screen, make sure to use that hashtag Michigan so it pops up right to the producer. They can see it. We can put it on screen. How about Cooter 12? Who is the top recruit we have in this class? It's a good question. Obviously, A.J. Henning is the top-rated recruit, but I like Blake Corum as my top recruit, as the one we'll go look back to in 3 or 4 years. It says, hey, that guy is a superstar. He should have been ranked higher than 119 in the country, number 12 running back. I think he has a chance to be the first All-American skill position player Jim Harbaugh has had at this school. He certainly hasn't been able to do it with the high-level 5-star and high 4-star players that he's had in Shea Patterson and Donovan Peoples-Jones. Certainly Kareem Walker didn't work out. Nico Collins. So Blake Corum fits what I think Josh Gaddis, if he sticks around and Michigan keeps this offensive philosophy going, I think he fits the system and has the talent from a speed perspective to make it happen with Michigan's offense in the future. So I think Blake Corum, my number one recruit in talent-wise in this class. Coming in from Mitchell Renz, what state do we need to recruit better from? It's very simple. It's 4 letters. Take a sip of water as I let you guys think about it. It's 4 letters. Ohio. O-H-I-O. They yell it out. They were making my ears bleed the fourth quarter of the game on November 30th by taking over Michigan Stadium. But look, you think back to the 90s, and I sound like OK Boomer here. Back in the 90s, Dylan Tippett made fun of me yesterday for being born in the 80s and knowing who Ice-T was. So maybe even going back to the 90s here. You had 2 Heisman Trophy winners in 6 seasons from the state of Ohio, Desmond Howard, Charles Woodson, that didn't go to Ohio State. They had a pretty damn good record. I think Desmond was 3-1 against Ohio State, Charles Woodson 3-0 against Ohio State. So recruit Ohio better. Steal some of the guys that are just begging to go to Ohio State, and maybe you can convince them, you're not a number 2 option at this position, you're a number 1. Come there, they're motivated to stick it to the school that maybe didn't prioritize them, their school and their home state. So thanks for the question, Mitchell Renz. How about Trey Stoneking? Now, just for the we're live studio audience here, Trey Stoneking is my guy. Trey, feel like you're my boy, always retweeting my stuff, always putting in comments on Instagram, so really appreciate it, Trey. You are the man. If you watch this video, screenshot me saying this, record it, toss it on Twitter, IG. I'll make sure to retweet it. You see Blake Corum playing next year or redshirting with Haskins, Charbonnet, and Evans, in the depth chart but behind him. If you missed it, Chris Evans, Michigan's, frankly, backup running back for 3 years, 16 through 18. I was surprised when I saw his stats. He's got like 1,700 yards rushing in his career, much higher than I think I remember in my mind. Suspended for the year, academic reasons, was reinstituted by the school and the football program. I think Chris Evans is going to play more of a wide receiver role or, jack of all trades. You might see him get some carries. You might see him out at wide receiver. You might see him in there as a potential wildcat. So with that happening, I think Blake Corum, with the lack of development of other positions, other younger players, I think Corum moves into the number 3 role. Hassan Haskins, Zach Charbonnet battle out for the starting role. But I do think by middle of the season, you will see Blake Corum getting at least 8 to 10 carries every game, get involved in the passing game, use that speed and space that Josh Gaddis, I don't believe, felt that he had on the roster this year in 2019. How about Mish Girl 96? Thanks for the question. James, thanks for sharing the Michigan holiday sales. I bought my boyfriend, BF, as the kids say, boyfriend, a jersey, hat, and t-shirt for under $100. You rock. Thanks for the question, Mish Girl. That's a pretty dang good deal. And I guess the math, 12, 15, that makes a lot of sense. So let's pull that stuff up. Make sure that people see it. Awesome Michigan football jacket right here, the quarter zip. Chatsports.com/blue5. Might have been what Mish Girl 96 was looking at. She ended up going with the jersey. All Michigan football sale items. The jerseys, shoes, hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts as low as $12. Can be found chatsports.com/blue. Don't go to Dick's Sporting Goods and pay twice as much money for the same product. You can go click 2 buttons and get shipped to you for up to half off. Chatsports.com/go blue. Mitchell, toss that in the comment. Not the same Mitchell that just asked the question, though. Different guy altogether. How about IT56er? How can we compete with recruiting classes like this? I mean, I get what you're saying. You're saying, how can we compete with Ohio State being another top 5 class? Now, they had an outlier class. They went through a coaching transition last year. They were outside the top 10. I think they were something like 15. But basically, Ohio State, of the guys that'll be on the field next year, are putting together a lot of top 2 and top 3 classes. That 17 class, one of the best of all time. That 18 class, one of the best in the history of the Big Ten. A little drop in 19, and now they're back up there inside the top 3 for 2020. And I get what you're saying. I don't think you're going to unless you find some diamonds in the rough, or if Ryan Day can't develop players and keep things rolling like Urban Meyer has over the past 7-8 seasons. So I think it's a good question. I don't know what Michigan is going to do if they're not getting 2, 3, 4, 5-star players. 2, 3, 4, 5-star players in this class. I'm not sure how they're going to compete with Ohio State. Bring in, they're ranked number 2 in the country, number 3 in recruiting. It is pretty, the train tracks line up, folks. Top recruits equal top players in the field. It is not guesswork. It's become a science. Michigan, number 11 class, where are they ranked right now? The CFP, where they're ranked 14, 12, something like that. Look at these rankings. Other than Wisconsin, everyone is, and Nebraska maybe a little bit, but they're basically lined up with what they're doing on the field. So if Michigan wants to go 12-0, 11-1 in the regular season, beat Ohio State, either some of these guys have to be 5 stars or play like 5 stars, or Michigan's going to have to start getting better in the future. Bo Stevens asks, Blake Corum and A.J. Henning will come in immediately and establish they are 2 of Michigan's best skill position players. I'm with you there. Great question. Nice analysis, because I think it's a really good observation. The one thing about the offense Michigan put on the field this year is Shea Patterson struggled clearly the first half of the year. But over the last 5.5 games, 6 games, and definitely the last 3, let's just count 2.5, not the second half against Ohio State, but maybe Michigan State, Indiana, Ohio State. That's the best 10-quarter stretch of a Michigan quarterback passing yards and efficiency and touchdowns in the history of the school. If you lose Peoples-Jones and Nico Collins, maybe they go pro, maybe they don't. I think they'd be better suited to come back next year, but I think that's up to them. I don't think you lose that much, because I think you give the opportunity for younger players who fit the system, which is basically running about 6 yards up and streaking across the field as fast as you can. That fits the system a lot better than Peoples-Jones, Collins, and Tariq Black, who will now transfer, ever have. Jacob Mackinnon coming up. Why can't Harbaugh and Michigan consistently land 5-star talent? So I'm going to put on 2 hats here for you, Jacob. Hat number 1 is local media guy who works for MGO, Blog, Blob, Rivals, Scout, 24/7, or the Free Press. Michigan doesn't play the shady game. Only Ohio State and Georgia can get those kind of players because they play by different rules. That's that hat. Okay, cool hat. Let's throw that hat out because that's idiot hat. Let's throw on the right hat, okay? That is the James Yoder, the truth hat. I'm going to drink some of my truth serum. I'm going to tell you why. It's because they just don't see Michigan playing the kind of football that they find exciting, 1, and they don't see Michigan in the playoff. 33 5-stars, I think was the number, in the college football, or in the 24/7 composite rankings. 33 players are 5-stars. 22 of them went to 5 schools. And I don't have the exact 5. I'm remembering this from something I read this morning. It's Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia. I'm missing one? I think that's it, right? Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia. LSU. There you go, right? That's basically the top 4 classes. So Clemson, 6 5-stars. Alabama, 4 5-stars. Clemson 6, Alabama 3, Ohio State 2, LSU 3, Georgia 2. Okay, 22 of the 33. Notre Dame has a couple in there too, so it's very highly concentrated. But what do those teams say? What do you say about those teams? Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, Georgia. They make the college football playoff. They win big games on the road. They run, except for Georgia, exciting offenses, right? I don't know how Kirby Smart's been able to continue to do it because his offense reminds me of, frankly, Jim Harbaugh's before the last few games of this year. So Michigan just isn't as exciting, and they've got all the advantages in the world. They've got Jordan Brand. They've got all the sneakers. They've got the biggest stadium. Some would say the best helmet and some of the coolest uniforms. And maybe the second most famous coach behind Nick Saban. Why can't they? They just haven't figured out how to play exciting football that gets 5 stars excited. Next question up from Cruisin' 26. Why can't Harbaugh get a QB? Good question. Answer for you. J.D. Johnson, we're not calling him a part of this class, even though for some reason 24/7 is still listing him, which is a failure on their part because he's not playing football. He's medically retired. But Jim Harbaugh's got high-level quarterback commits. They haven't been 5 stars, but Shea Patterson came in as a transfer as a 5-star. I think it's just the philosophy that the Michigan offense has run. And I don't know why, because if you go back to Stanford's his final year there, you go back to when he was at San Diego, Jim Harbaugh had exciting offenses. Andrew Luck was throwing for 3,500 yards and 30-plus TDs, and I'm not sure why Jim Harbaugh didn't try and institute an offense that took advantage of his quarterback skills in the Michigan. All right, breaking news here. You have breaking news, or is this a question? No, this is a question. Okay, cool. It's a statement. Got it. And this is probably true. I thought it was breaking news. We're still 40 minutes away from, I think it's just a statement coming from Anthony Williams. Appreciate it, Anthony. CJ Stroud is a Buckeye. Absolutely not disputing that's going to be the case. Coming up here at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central, 9:30 Pacific, where he is at, and 6:30 for Roman Wilson out there in Hawaii. Zaddy Looney, dude, you're such a homer. God, I hope I'm not coming across like that because I'm not. But look, the reason I get to be a homer is because I'm the guy on screen. I can say whatever the hell I want. So Zaddy Looney, whether you're a Michigan fan, an Ohio State fan coming here to troll, okay, I chose to be the leader of the Michigan football fan base, and as such, I can be the biggest homer that I want. So thank you for your participation. Good day, sir. All right, guys, grade the Michigan football 2020 recruiting class. Give me an A, B, C, or D below in the comments. A, B, C, or D. As I said earlier, I'm giving this bad boy a B, but I want to know from you guys, A, B, C, D, or E, or F. Did I say E? I said E. Okay, I got an E once on a grade. Blew my dad's mind. He couldn't believe it that I got an E on a report card one time. All right, BetDSI is our sponsor, guys. If you haven't got started with them, go to chatsports.com/bet. Promo code GOBLUE, 120% deposit bonus. I'll repeat myself, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code GOBLUE, 120% deposit bonus. You put in $100 to get started betting on sports. You have an extra 120 for a total of 220 sitting there in your account to bet on. It gives you the opportunity to lose a couple games, still be ahead above the balance you put in there. So go get going. Play now. Bet on sports. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code GOBLUE. Preston Prosper. Awesome name. Not going to get top 5 classes until we beat Ohio and win the Big Ten. And exactly right. There's no doubt about that. There's no questioning that that's the case. And I think it's a good observation by you, Preston. I think it's a prosperous observation. And why is CJ Stroud going to Ohio State, given that they've got another quarterback, Jack Miller, that's been committed to them for over a year? Why is CJ Stroud going to go to Ohio State when they've got one of the top 3 quarterbacks, a 5-star coming in the 2021 class? Is because he feels if I win the job, I'm going to be put in the best position to be a All-American, a pro football player. And I don't think the same can be said at Michigan. You win the job. Is Shea Patterson getting drafted in the first 3 rounds? I don't know. Justin Fields will probably be a top 3 pick in the whole NFL draft next season. Guys, the odds are out, and they really haven't changed, which is surprising. So if you want advice from me as of now, and Michigan may surprise me, right? They may surprise me, but I would put money on Alabama, okay? Because 7.5-point spread I don't understand how Michigan's going to compete with Alabama. They're missing 2 players I saw, one in the secondary, third-team All-American cornerback whose name's escaping me at the moment. But those are the odds there. Michigan is a 7.5-point underdog. Over-under is now bumped to 59. But I want to give you guys this opportunity. Predict the score below. Michigan, Alabama, Trevin Diggs. Thank you from the stats and research department. Trevin Diggs is the player from Alabama, cornerback. They've got another starter on defense sitting out. Frankly, the only position Michigan has an advantage in this game, to my early assessment, is the quarterback position. With Tua being out, Shea Patterson certainly has an advantage over their quarterback, Mac Jones. So that's the question there. We've got more Michigan football live for you right now.